You know that feeling when someone at work gives you a compliment, but it just feels wrong? Kind of like an insult in disguise. It's this really weird, unsettling feeling. And in this explainer, we are going to peel back that sugarcoating and expose the poison hiding underneath. Let's get into it.
Yet that's the moment. Your boss or a colleague says something that on the surface sounds totally fine, but your gut just clenches. You're left standing there thinking, wait, what was that really about? That's the exact feeling we're going to unpack.
And here's the most important thing I can tell you right off the bat. You are not imagining it. That feeling of confusion, that little bit of unease, it's a real signal. And today, we're going to give it a name and show you exactly what's going on.
All right, so let's dive into our first section, a compliment that stings. We're going to start by putting a name to this whole thing so you know precisely what you're dealing with.
And here it is. The term is sugar-coated workplace toxicity. And wow, is this a perfect description, right? It's harmful behavior, but it's all wrapped up in polite, professional language, and that's the trap. That's what makes it so hard to call out, because if you say something, you're the one who looks ungrateful, or like you can't take a compliment.
This quote just nails it. It's like a medicine laced with poison. The polite words, the praise, that's just the sugarcoating to get you to swallow it. But make no mistake. That poison, the criticism, the manipulation, it's still in there, and it's absolutely doing its damage.
So, let's move on. How is this poison actually delivered? Let's unpack the specific tactics people use to hide their toxic behavior in plain sight. Okay, so the most common, the most recognizable form of this is, of course, the backhanded compliment. It is the classic move, right? A statement that pretends to be praise but has that little hidden jab designed to put you in your place. So, picture this. Your manager looks over your report and says, "Wow, I wasn't expecting your work to be so thorough." Now, on the surface, that sounds nice, a compliment about your great work. But listen closer. And there it is. That's the poison. The real message isn't "great job." The real unspoken message is, "My expectations for you are incredibly low, and I'm genuinely shocked you managed to do something well." It's a total takedown disguised as praise. Or what about this one? "You handled that project surprisingly well for a beginner." Again, it kind of sounds like they're being encouraging, pointing out that you did a good job. But those little words, surprisingly and for a beginner, they change everything. The subtext here isn't just about your experience level, it's about their genuine shock that you didn't completely fail. It's so belittling. So why? Why do people even do this? Well, it almost always boils down to their own insecurities. It could be a power play to make themselves feel superior, or a bit of passive-aggressive jealousy, or maybe they see you as competition. Honestly, it's often just a subtle form of bullying. Now, let's build on that, because passive aggression is a massive part of this whole sugar-coated toxicity thing. This is all about that huge gap between what a person says and what they actually do. And this is where it gets really sneaky. To your face, they're all smiles. "Oh, of course, I'm happy to help." They seem so supportive. But then, behind the scenes, they're conveniently forgetting to send you that crucial piece of info, or they miss a deadline that suddenly makes you look bad. Their politeness is nothing more than a smokescreen for sabotage. Okay, from here, we're moving from passive aggression into something way more sinister. Straight-up manipulation. These are the subtle psychological games that can be incredibly damaging. I'm sure you've heard this term, gaslighting. And in the workplace, it is so often disguised as professional concern or, constructive feedback. The whole point is to make you doubt what you saw, what you heard, and maybe even your own sanity. And oh boy, gaslighters have their scripts down. You'll hear these phrases designed to flip the blame right back onto you. Things like, "You're just being too sensitive." Or they'll just deny reality. "I never said that." And the all-time classic, "I was only joking." Every single one is a tool to make you question yourself instead of their actions. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, it's that manager who swears they never promised you that raise. It's the person who sends out the meeting summary email that completely changes what everyone agreed on. It's that constant, inconsistent criticism that always keeps you feeling off balance. A close cousin of gaslighting is something called paltering. This one is really clever. It's when someone uses statements that are technically true to create a totally false impression. So like if you ask, "Did you finish the report?"
They might say, I spent all morning working on it, which could be true, but it very cleverly avoids answering the question, which is no, it's not done.
And finally, we've got performative kindness. This is where even being helpful becomes a weapon. It's when a coworker makes a big public show of helping you with something you didn't even ask for help with. The goal isn't really to help you, it's to make them look good by making it seem like you can't handle your own job. It's sabotage disguised as support. So we've looked at all the tactics, the backhanded compliments, the gaslighting, the weaponized kindness. But what's the actual impact of all this? How does it really make you feel? Well, the answer comes down to one thing: trusting your gut. And this is so crucial. The entire point of these behaviors is to create confusion. It's designed to leave you feeling anxious, uneasy, and second-guessing yourself. You start asking, am I crazy? Did I hear that wrong? Am I overreacting? And that self-doubt, that's exactly what the toxic person wants. And this brings us right back to where we started. The poison, the criticism, the manipulation, it only works because of that sugarcoating. The professional language and the fake politeness are the camouflage that make it almost impossible to challenge without looking like you're the problem. So we'll leave you with this thought. The absolute first step to fighting back against this behavior is just being able to see it for what it is. And now you have the language for it. You can name the poisons. So trust that gut feeling. That off feeling is your alarm bell. And the real question is, now that you know what you're looking for, what are you going to start to notice?